Nervous system health is not a quick fix. It's a lifestyle. I think that social media has made nervous system regulation look a lot simpler than it actually is. We're constantly being told that if we just do one breathing exercise, one vagus nerve stretch, one quick hack, then we're magically going to be okay and we're going to feel calm and grounded. And while many of these practices are wonderful and they genuinely can help, I think that a lot of the information that we receive online is simply incomplete because these practices, while helpful, do not bring about lasting change. Because real nervous system healing is much deeper than just one quick fix. Hi everyone, Alexa here. So I originally filmed this video on nervous system regulation as one long video, but when I got to the end of it, I realized that it was way too lengthy and had way too much valuable information in it to post it as one video. So what I've done is I've decided to cut it into a 3-part series where you will receive part 1 this week, part 2 next week, and part 3 in the week following that. So if you would like to receive the part 2 and part 3 series, then please make sure that you are subscribed and that you have hit that notification button. That way you will not miss the videos to come. So I hope that you enjoy this video and I look forward to spending this time with you. Let's get to the video. In this video, we're going to be looking at nervous system regulation from a much bigger perspective, much bigger and more complete than what we get on social media platforms. We're going to be talking about why overstimulation plays such a significant role in nervous system health, and why your body is often adapting rather than failing. We will also be exploring why rest feels so uncomfortable for many women, why nervous system regulation is about far more than quick fix techniques like vagus nerve stretches and breathing exercises, and what it actually looks like to be a regulated person or have a regulated nervous system in the real world. Because when we start to look at nervous system regulation as a lifestyle, rather than a collection of techniques and quick fixes, everything starts to make a little more sense. In this video, we will cover why nervous system hacks often don't create lasting change, why you cannot heal in constant overstimulation, why your body is not failing you, but it's simply adapting. Why rest feels unsafe for so many women. Why healing isn't just somatic, it's practical. The physical foundations of nervous system health. You may not need more healing. You may need more support. The hidden problem with modern healing culture. And what a regulated life actually looks like. So let's begin with the first point. Why nervous system hacks often don't create lasting change. Now, don't get me wrong. I think that all of these nervous system techniques have a place and a time, and that they can be extremely valuable when we use them in conjunction with a calmer, more stable lifestyle. I was a yoga teacher for many years, so I've seen the effects of what these practices can do for people, and myself included. Throughout the years, I have used slow movement, yoga, breathing, vagus nerve stretches, and they have been incredibly helpful in regulating my nervous system as well as those people that I've worked with. The problem comes in when we do only these practices and we don't change anything else, expecting to bring about lasting change. So many times I've had yoga students come into my classes and feel absolutely wonderful after their yoga class, and then have to step out into the real world again afterwards. And they come back to me saying, oh, I wish I could have stayed in the yoga class for another 2 or 3 or 4 hours, just enjoying myself and not have to be pushed back into the pressures of everyday life straight away. The reason for this is that most of the time, people's lives are not constructed in a way to promote a peaceful lifestyle. We live in a world of overstimulation that many people are trying to regulate themselves while continuing to live inside the very conditions that are dysregulating them in the first place. A nervous system regulation practice might be extremely beneficial while you are doing it, and perhaps for the 10 minutes leading from that practice. However, if you immediately return to a lifestyle that is filled with chronic stress, overworking, overstimulation, a lack of boundaries, poor sleep, emotional exhaustion, and constant pressure, your nervous system will often return to survival mode without you even realizing it. Because your body listens more to your daily life than it does to a 5-minute regulation practice. And I think this is one of the biggest missing links in today's information about nervous system regulation and nervous system health. Because nervous system regulation is not a hack. It's the slow process of creating a life that your body no longer has to survive. Which brings us to section 2. You cannot heal in constant overstimulation. A lot of people are trying to regulate or heal their nervous systems while living in a state of constant overstimulation, constant input, phone scrolling, deadlines, emotional overload, taking on the emotions of those around them and thinking that it's their job to handle all of this, being caught up in other people's opinions and objections and fears and experiences, and constantly comparing their lives to what other people are living, looking around themselves and thinking, well, I'm not coping, I'm not doing this well, which in turn creates negative emotions. We're simply not consuming information anymore. We're consuming emotion. And the number one source of external input is phone scrolling. Because let's be honest, what's the first thing most of us do in the morning? We pick up our phone and we start scrolling. We start looking at our emails. Often we're listening to podcasts as we get ready. We are consuming information on YouTube, on Instagram, silly videos about politics, videos about whatever the media is spitting out at that moment. We're constantly engaged in our phones in this scrolling behavior that is a constant source of input where our brains and our nervous systems cannot relax. The nervous system rarely gets a chance to simply be. Then we have emotional overload. And this is really real. Every day we are exposed to other people's opinions, to their stresses, to their fears, to their over-exploding emotions such as anger, pain, suffering. But also we compare ourselves to others on an emotional level, looking at other people's lives on social media and comparing ourselves and thinking, well, why don't I look like that? Why does my life not look like that? Why am I struggling when they are evidently doing so well? And then we have nervous system vigilance. When the nervous system is constantly exposed to pressures, to fears, to stress, it starts to expect danger, pressure, or problems around every corner. This creates a sense of chronic vigilance where we're constantly scanning for the next stress, the next problem, the next danger. And the nervous system just never gets a chance to relax. You may notice this as difficulty relaxing, always feeling switched on, constantly checking your phone, feeling unable to switch off, and anticipating problems before they happen. Modern life rarely allows stillness. We constantly are bombarded with notifications, multitasking, background noise, constant consumption. We never allow silence, and the nervous system needs pause to rest. We need slowness, nature, time, quiet moments, and reduced input. Even rest has become stimulating. How many of you actually scroll in bed or on the couch while you're supposed to be watching a movie? You literally have 2 screens in front of you. The body cannot fully settle if it never experiences true quiet. Sometimes healing isn't about adding more practices. It's about reducing what constantly overwhelms you. And that brings us to the third section. Your body is not failing you. It's very intelligently adapting. Your anxiety may not be proof that you are broken. It may be proof that your body is trying to protect you. Many nervous system symptoms are actually intelligent survival responses. And many of the symptoms that people struggle with are not random. Anxiety, hypervigilance, overwhelm, emotional reactivity, people-pleasing, perfectionism, and even exhaustion can all be the nervous system's way of helping us survive situations that once felt stressful, unpredictable, or unsafe. The nervous system learns from experience. The body is always trying to protect us, even when those protective responses are not necessary. If you spend years living with chronic stress, emotional pressure, unpredictability, conflict, instability, or burnout, your nervous system starts to believe that this is what life is. This is what life looks like. It adapts to the environment that it experiences the most often. And you might ask yourself, why can't I relax? Why am I always anxious? Why do I overthink everything? And why can't I switch off? But these responses are often there for a reason. It's simply fight or flight. Your nervous system believes that you are in danger because you are constantly in this environment of stress and anxiety. So it's protecting you. You are constantly ready to flee or fight. And understanding this can help you replace self-judgment with self-compassion. One of the biggest challenges of survival mode is that it can become so familiar that we're comfortable living in it every single day. Some people have been stressed for so long that calmness, the feeling of being calm, is actually a threat, and they don't feel comfortable in it. In this state, busyness feels productive. Urgency feels normal. Constant overthinking feels responsible. The nervous system begins to mistake survival mode as everyday life. Many people believe that they're simply being responsible, prepared, or aware. But sometimes what they're really experiencing is just hypervigilance. The goal is not to white knuckle through or to fight your body. It's to help your body feel safe enough to stop fighting for survival. So what I've done to make your life easier is I've put all of this into one downloadable PDF. All that you have to do is look in the comment section below or in the description, and you will find it there. You can download it, and it has all of this information in a nice, clear, easy to understand, step-by-step guide that you can just print out or have on your phone. Just remember here that you are not trying to change your life overnight. You're trying to choose one or two things that you can easily implement to make your life easier and to help you get your nervous system into a regulated state. And this change could take a very long time. For me personally, it did, because there were so many things that needed to change, and it was dependent on the influences that I had around me, other people, my environments, my work. And it's been a journey, but it is possible. And with the right mindset, and with you thinking that you need to be gentle with yourself, taking your time, and only taking on one change at a time, then anything is possible. You only need to be 1% better today than you were yesterday. 1% is not a lot, so you can do it. I'm going to read you what I wrote here. Real regulation is built slowly, through one small change, one new boundary, one extra hour of sleep, one nourishing meal, one moment of rest, one small act of supporting yourself differently. You are allowed to take your time, and you are allowed to start small. And honestly, that approach is far more supportive for your nervous system than trying to be a whole new person in a short space of time. It has been an absolute pleasure spending this time with you today. I hope that you enjoyed the video. Once again, if you did, please like and subscribe and hit that notification button so that you can receive more videos like this in the future. It has been so wonderful seeing you today, and I hope that you will be back to see more videos in the future. I hope you have a beautiful day. Take care.